My wife was smiling, thinking I had gotten her the perfect birthday gift. But when she opened the box and saw what her expression changed instantly. The room went silent. Her secret was out, and there was no escaping it. It had started like any other day, almost painfully ordinary. The late afternoon sun cast long through the open window of our cozy in the heart of the city. The smell of freshly brewed coffee in the kitchen, mixing with the earthy scent we'd cultivated over the years. Our home was simple, modestly furnished with colors that spoke of comfort and familiarity. It felt like a sanctuary, a place where the world outside could never intrude. The evening was to be a celebration. Emily's birthday. It had been a tradition for one us. I'd taken great care despite the growing pressures of work in life. I'd spent weeks preparing, picking out the perfect gift and organizing the party. She loved surprises, and I relished when she received something she wasn't expecting. Emily was beautiful in a way that made you stop, but it wasn't just her looks. Her grace, her intelligence, and the way she made feel like they were the important person in the room. And to me, she was everything. I thought I knew her better than anyone. I thought our love was something that would endure through the years. But that night, all of it would change. All of it would unravel before my eyes. As the guests trickled I stood back and watched Emily with that familiar radiant smile of hers. She was stunning in a deep red dress, her hair cascading in soft waves around her shoulders. Her laughter was infectious, filling the room like the soft hum of a lullaby. I wanted to believe that everything this night was just another testament to our love. But in the pit of my stomach, something nodded me an unease that I couldn't shake. It had started weeks ago with small signs. I tried to ignore her late night, her sudden distance, the way she'd flinch when I touched about her day. Her phone had become never left unlocked, always guarded with a strange defensive urgency. I had brushed it off as nothing more than stress. But the doubts crept in. And then came the text message I saw, a single line that shattered my world. I miss you. I can't wait to see you tonight. M. I thought about confronting her then. I almost did. But I wanted proof. I needed proof. And tonight I would get it. I had no idea how, but I knew it would come. The party continued around me, a blur of laughter. But my mind was focused on Emily, on the nagging thought that something wasn't right. As the night wore on, I kept glancing trying at her, to read her. And then it happened. A subtle exchange that no one else would have noticed. She was talking to Mark, a colleague who had lingered a little too long in our conversation, who seemed to smile just when Emily was around. I watched as he leaned in close, whispering something in her ear. Her face flushed, and she pulled away with a nervous laugh. But the way her eyes lingered for just a fraction, a flicker of something I sent a chill through me. I excused myself, my heart pounding as I tried to steady my breath. This couldn't be happening. I wanted to scream to confront her then, but I didn't. I couldn't. There were too many people. I couldn't let it end like this. Not in front of everyone. Not like this. Instead, I retreated to the bedroom. The room was dark, lit only by the soft glow of a bedside lamp. I needed to think, to process. I had to be careful. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about all of it. My life, my trust, my love. I needed answers, and I was going to get them. I reached for my phone. I had been tracking her movements for the past few days. I hadn't wanted to believe it. But the evidence was there, hidden in the dark corners of her phone calls and messages that I had read more times than I could count. But I needed more. I needed something that would make her face something undeniable. That's when I saw it. A photo taken at a restaurant just last week. Emily smiling with Mark, her hand resting on his arm with a smile that wasn't just friendly. It was possessive, intimate. And Emily's eyes, though she was smiling, weren't the eyes of someone who was with her husband. No, they were the eyes of someone who had a secret. The final straw came when she stepped to check on me. Her smile was too wide to rehearsed. "Everything okay, love?" She asked, her voice tinged with an artificial sweetness. That made my stomach turn. I didn't answer at first. I just stared at searching her face for any trace of guilt. Her gaze faltered for a second. And that was all I needed. The walls crumbled. The calm I had so desperately clung and my voice shaking with rage broke through the silence. "Do you love him?" I asked, the question hanging between us. Heavy and suffocating, she recoiled, her eyes wide. "What are you talking about? Don't lie to me, I know. I know everything about you and Mark. About your affair." The words felt like fire, each one more painful than the last. The room seemed to close in around us. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. I was shaking, my body tight with a rage I couldn't control. My fists clenched at my sides, but I kept them down, forced myself to stay composed. This wasn't about violence. It was about something far worse. Psychological torture. She took a step back, looking at me as if I had suddenly become a stranger. You're crazy. There's nothing going on between us, she said, her voice trembling. "You're lying," I hissed. "You think I'm stupid, don't you? You think I don't see the way he looks at you. The way you look at him. How long has it been going on, Emily?" Her face twisted with a mix of guilt and defiance. "It's not what you think, She was cut off by a sound behind her. Mark had entered the room, his face unreadable. But the tension between the three of us was palpable. "This isn't how it was supposed Mark to said go down," his voice steady, but his eyes darted, searching for reassurance. I turned to face him, fury rising inside me like a storm. How long have you been sleeping with my wife, Mark?" He didn't respond immediately. Instead, he stepped forward, smirk playing at the edges of his lips. "You really want to know? You really think you can just walk and demand answers like you deserve?" His voice lowered, his words turning into a taunt. "You're weak. You always were." I felt a surge of anger, but I held knowing that the final act was yet to come. This was just the beginning. For the next few days, I didn't confront them directly. I didn't rush into a fight. I needed time to think, to plan. The humiliation I had standing there in front of them, like some fool who had been played, was unbearable. But I knew what I had to do. I couldn't just let it go. Not when they had shattered everything I had built. I started small. I contacted a lawyer, and I began texts, photos, emails, anything that would ruin their reputations. I found out that Mark had a history of similar affairs. I reached out to his wife anonymously and sent her everything I had. His reputation in the office began to suffer. I made sure the word spread, but that wasn't enough. No, I needed to take them both down completely. For Emily, the betrayal would cut deeper than anything else. I had kept a journal over documenting every moment of our relationship. The first time we met, our wedding honeymoon day, every milestone. I knew if I could make her relive every second of our love. So I printed out pages from each one, a painful reminder of everything she had destroyed. I left them scattered across the waiting for her to see them. I watched from a distance, my heart pounding as she found them. The shock on her face when she saw those memories we once shared told me everything I needed to know. She was broken, and I hadn't even started yet. The day of final confrontation, when I delivered the gift, unassuming box wrapped in simple brown paper. Inside, I had placed the most damning evidence. The photo of them together at the text messages, the love notes they'd exchanged. But I had one last touch. A single page from our wedding showing album. Emily and me on our smiling and happy before everything fell apart. She opened the box in front of the guests. The color drained from her as face. She saw what was inside. The room went silent. There was no denying it anymore. Did you really think you could get away with this? I asked, my voice low, cold. She dropped the box, her eyes wide with terror. Mark stood frozen behind her, the smugness gone from his face. The party-goers looked on, confused, shocked. You've ruined us, I said, my voice filled with finality. Now you'll suffer the consequences. Emily begged for mercy. Mark tried to explain, but his words fell flat. It didn't matter. The damage was done. They were both ruined. As I walked away, I couldn't help but was it worth it? But then I remembered her laughter at the way she had looked at him. I knew some betrayals don't break us. They make us stronger. Like this video if you think justice was served. Subscribe for more stories of betrayal. And never forget, sometimes the greatest payback is the one that makes who they truly betrayed.